In the studio with us is Benetta. Good morning, Benetta.
Good morning, Peter.
Now, you actually worked for World Vision, but even before you worked for World Vision, you were a child sponsor. Now, I understand that you became a child sponsor when you were a student.
Yes.
Students aren't renowned for having lots of money.
Yes, that's right. I had started sponsoring when I was working part-time and studying full-time. And yes, it was a hard decision, but a good decision, I reckon.
What effect did it have on you, sponsoring a child?
Yeah, I think for me, having been chosen myself, it was just such an incredible journey in the lead up to the Sunday that I got chosen. God had been speaking to me and stirring my heart, and when I said yes and out of obedience decided that I would get chosen, I was just so blessed by it. The following Sunday, I got given an envelope that I opened, and I was so overwhelmed with love. And I think I made a good decision.
Can you describe a bit for listeners that might have just joined us, and what's this chosen? So can you just describe what's happening here?
Yeah, for sure. So usually child sponsorships look like you choosing a child, but with chosen, it's actually flipped on its head, and the child gets to choose you, which in itself is just so incredible, because in these communities, children don't necessarily have they aren't spoilt for choice, but they get to make that empowering decision to say, this is the person that I would love to sponsor me. And so I think that was just really special that my sponsor child, Fortune, who's now 5, she chose me based off a photo, and I was just so nervous on who would choose me. But I think when I saw that photo of her holding a photo of me, it just made everything so special.
Almost like she's become part of your family.
Yes, that's right. I have a photo of her on my fridge, in my wallet. I pray for her in the daily prayers. It's just so special.
So why did you sign up for the Chosen campaign?
Yeah, I really feel like God had been stirring my heart about life in all its fullness, and the lead up to that was something that was on my heart. And then World Vision's mission is really to help empower that children, especially the most vulnerable children, to live life in all its fullness, which sounds so terrible and it's so hard to get there. But saying yes and sponsoring and giving my donation, for me, it felt like that was an investment in these children all the way across the world. And so that's why I really just wanted to invest, and I wanted to be obedient. So
part of the fullness is having access to water, isn't it?
Yes,
which is part of what's happening with the Chosen campaign this week, partnering with World Vision in Tanzania. As part of that is enabling access to water. Can you describe that a little bit? Well, why? I mean, we just don't even give it a second thought what it's like not to have water.
Yeah, you're right. We have easy access to water wherever we go, and it is such a basic necessity, right? And for that itself to be hard to access, it makes it really hard for communities, especially for children, for mothers, for women, to have access to water. Children, especially like in communities like Luguru, would spend hours walking to go and get water, and water that isn't even clean, isn't even good for them. They know that it's already the choice that they have isn't really a choice. They just have to drink this dirty water, and they know that they can be affected by it, but they have to do that anyway. And I think it's so incredibly important what World Vision is trying to do here is to empower this community, especially these children. Now that they would have wash stations, they would have access to clean water, then they can focus on education. They can focus on so many different things, which is how they would be able to move out of this cycle of poverty. And so, yeah.
It's such a basic thing. It's so simple, really. I mean, I know $54 a month, it does sound a lot, but, you did it as a student and you weren't well off. I'm sure all of us can really consider this whole thing of how we can impact so powerfully a child, a community, giving them clean water through the sponsorship. So if you've been challenged in this by what Benetta is saying, get in touch, 8168, make the first word STAR, give us your details. We'll pass that information on to World Vision and you can become a sponsor. Or you can go to our website, star.net.nz. Do it today. Just open up your heart, open up your wallets, become a sponsor. 8168, make the first word STAR.